Teddy No-Nose and the Black Button. Teddy No-Nose hadn't actually had a nose for years. He'd lost it when he was a fairly new bear, and he'd managed perfectly well without one. There weren't many things he had to smell, and the other toys were so used to seeing him without a nose that they hardly teased him at all. In fact, some of the newer toys thought that Teddy No-Nose had never had a nose. One day, however, Teddy No-Nose was watching some of the other toys being packed into a basket. They were going out for the day with the children, and he suddenly realized something. People always played with him at home, as much as with the other toys, but he couldn't remember ever being taken out for the day or away on holiday. "Must be because of my nose," he said to himself. "They're too ashamed of me to take me out, in case their friends laugh at me. Perhaps it's time I tried to get a new nose. But where do I find one?" Teddy No-Nose went off in search of Old Bear, and asked him where he could get a new nose. "Oh, that's easy," said Old Bear. "Take some money from your money box and go to the Teddy Bear repair shop. They sell noses there, and you'll be able to choose any nose you like." Teddy No-Nose was quite excited at the idea of choosing a new nose, until he realized that he had no money in his money box. The last time he'd looked, there had just been a button in there. "Well," he said, "I shall just have to earn some money to buy a nose." He went off straight away to ask all the toys whether they needed any jobs doing. Within a few minutes, he was busy tidying up the doll's house. "We'll give you 5 pence when you've done it," said the doll's house dolls. Teddy No-Nose worked very hard, and soon the little house was spotless. The floors and walls were gleaming, and the furniture was all in place. "That's lovely," said the doll's house dolls. "You worked very hard, and here's your 5 pence. With the precious money in his paw, Teddy No-Nose began his next job. Duck had said he would pay him 5 pence too, if he would help him to find a missing piece of jigsaw puzzle that he'd been looking for days. Teddy No-Nose searched everywhere, lifting things that were too heavy for Duck to lift, and suddenly there, under a very big book, was the missing piece of jigsaw. "Wonderful," said Duck, giving Teddy No-Nose a 5 pence piece. "Now you've got 2 5 pence pieces. That's 10 pence altogether. I should think you could buy a new nose for 10 pence. Teddy No-Nose thanked him very much and set off with his 10 pence. But he only got as far as the stairs. With 1 coin in each paw, he'd nothing to hold on with, and was trying to go down the stairs just a bit too fast. He slipped, grabbed at the stair carpet, and dropped both the coins. Helplessly, he watched as they bounced down the stairs and disappeared between the cracks in the floorboards. "Oh, no!" he cried, and sat down on the stairs with his head on his paws. "Now I'll never have a new nose." "Why not?" said a voice very near him. Looking up, he saw Monkey standing beside him. "Well, I was going to buy a nose," explained Teddy No-Nose, "and I earned 10 pence by working very hard. But now I've dropped it. And that means all I've got in my money box is a button." "Well, what's wrong with a button?" asked Monkey. "There's nothing wrong with a button," said Teddy No-Nose, "but it won't buy me a new nose, will it?" "No," said Monkey. "Well, what colour is it?" "Oh, I can't remember," said Teddy No-Nose. "I'll have a look." Fetching his money box, he undid the little cork at the bottom. Out dropped a shiny, round, black button. "What does the button remind you of?" said Monkey. Teddy No-Nose stared at the button, and then he stared at Monkey. And then he realized that Monkey's nose and eyes were all made from buttons. "Of course," he said, picking up the button. "It looks like a nose." "That's right," said Monkey. "You don't need to buy a nose because you've already got one, a button nose." Teddy No-Nose was very excited and could hardly stand still long enough for Monkey to sew on his new button nose. It looked very smart, better than any shop-bought one. The children still didn't take him out, though. "It wasn't because of your nose," they explained. "You're just too big to fit in the basket." But he didn't mind staying at home now, because he had a new friend, a friend with a button nose, just like his. And Monkey and Teddy No-Nose spend many hours sitting together, trying to think of a name for a teddy who used to have no nose, but who now has a button. They haven't thought of one yet. I wonder whether they ever will.